So as you know, I am I guess the creator of Business English with Christina, where we're going to help you to become better at English and better at business. We like to do both. And today we're going to look at effective emails in English. I'm going to analyze and correct your emails in English. And when I say your emails, what I mean is emails that we have received from people in our community. We were digging through our inbox to find examples to share with you. Of course, everything has been, all the private information, of course, we deleted, but these are real emails. And we're going to look through them together so that you can see how to improve your own emails. And I'll also give you some templates that you can use to create your emails. And at the end, we have some special gifts to share with you. So stick around until the end. That's the trick for getting you to stay on the entire time. Of course, if you have other priorities, I do totally understand. Anyway, so if you hesitate when you write emails in English, like you're just asking your questions, you're not sure. Maybe if you're using Google Translate, like a little more than you would like to, Google Translate is a great tool. I use it for things, but sometimes we don't want to be dependent on it and we want to be more autonomous, let's say. Or if you just want to know, like, what's the correct phrases, you want some templates or models to help you to write correct, effective emails faster, then you're in the right place. So like I said, I'm going to analyze and correct 3 emails from members of our community. I'm going to ask you for your input on that as well. And you'll see exactly the things that you should and shouldn't do, plus also get some templates that you can use and adapt to your specific context. And the idea is that we just have a lot of fun in this hour together, but it's something that's very practical and something a little surprise at the end. All right. A lot of you, I think, already know me, or I know you because you've taken programs with us, or we just follow each other on social media. But if you just happened to find the link to the workshop today, and you're not quite sure, who am I? I am the founder of Business English with Christina. We're in total over 500,000 subscribers around the world. On our team, we've got 16 collaborators, Lindsay, plus 15 other people, based in 9 countries, so very international. We've got that, I say, firsthand experience working with an international team. I'm a certified mental performance coach, certified neurolanguage coach, and also have a diploma in teaching English to adults. So very much looking at how the adult brain learns languages, and then aiming to create programs and courses that help you to learn faster, better, and also enjoy the process. I've been doing this since 2004, which is also when I arrived in France. I am C2 level in French because I basically speak it every day, but also beginner in German and Italian because I just love languages. And I am originally from Mississippi in the US, which is very, very, very different from where I live now, which is in Grenoble in France. So nice to meet you. Looking forward to getting to know more about all of you in the future over time. But we're going to start off today with a quiz. And the first question is to see how much you know about how much time we spend as professionals doing emails. So I'm going to ask you, how many hours per day do you think the average professional spends on emails? And if you want to put your guess in the chat, you can just put A, B, or C, or you can write the number, whatever is easiest for you. 2.5 hours, 2.5, Jack says more than 2.5, more than C. A, so I would go 45 minutes. Hoon as well. You guys are lucky if you're only spending 45 minutes per day on emails. And of course, this is an average, so it may be different for everyone. But yeah, on average, I'd say professionals spend 2.5 hours per day doing emails, which I find is a huge amount of your work day. Now, if we take a step back and put that into a bigger perspective, how many weeks is that equivalent to? You know, how much time per year do you spend sending emails? Now, either you're quite good and you can do some quick math in your head, or you have your calculator on your smartphone, or you can just guess. Is it 9.5, 16, or 25? All right, we got C. A, B, almost C, so like 23.75 weeks, perhaps. C, A, B, C. Okay, more of a mixed guess on this one. It's 16 weeks. So that, I mean, if you think about that, that's almost 4 months. That's a lot of time sitting in your email inbox. I'm like, if I look at that and I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't want to spend that much time sending emails. That's ridiculous. But that's the reality of it for the moment. Now, if you're writing those emails in English, so in a foreign language for you, what do you think is the equivalent? How much time do you think that takes you? I'm not going to give you any choices. I'm going to let you just throw a number out there if you have any idea. Too much time. Charlotte, I agree. Too much time. I would say that's the best answer to this question. Times 3, times 2. That's a lot. Yeah, exactly. Honestly, the answer is like, I don't know. I looked and I looked and I looked and I could not find a statistic for that number. But as you guys see from your experience, it takes a lot more time and probably too much time. So the idea is to help you reduce that time, but also to feel better. Is my cat like, there's my cat, by the way. She's just like, hey, I'm gonna Zoom bomb your webinar. Anyway, so it's a lot of time. And maybe you're thinking, yeah, but it's just email. Like, it's not literature. I'm not writing this wonderful presentation or piece of work. No, that's true. And I would say, and that's a good thing. But the thing is, even though it is just email, there are some actual consequences of sending out poor emails. And here, the objective of this information is not to make you scared or like to make you upset or sad or frustrated or all of that, but it's just to make you conscious that yes, it is just email, but it does have some can have some real consequences on your career. This article in Forbes, and in the presentation here, down here, I've put the link to the original article in Forbes if you would like to go and read it. But it says that we're often judged solely on the content, so only on the content of our emails by clients, colleagues, and stakeholders. And we're playing a high stakes game over email. So it means that, yes, the way that you present yourself in your emails, people do evaluate you on that. They do judge you for better or for worse on that. Harvard Business Review said that, and again, you've got the link to the original article if you want to go and check this out. Sloppy text and sloppier emails. So sloppy, that just means like very messy, very unclean, bad, basically. poor sentences, bad grammar, atrocious or terrible spelling, the message that you're sending is, I don't have time to care. Like, I don't have time to check something, which I'm going to say maybe I should also take my own advice, because as you saw this morning, I sent out an email saying you've got 5 hours until the workshop, and it was actually 1.5 hours. So mistakes do happen. No one is perfect, but just be, it's good for us to be aware of this. Now, I also had the question when I was preparing this. I was like, yes, okay, but that's maybe an email from, let's say, a French person or an Italian person or a Chinese person that is sent to a native English speaker. But in reality, a lot of the communication in English in the world is between two non-native speakers. So between a French person and an Italian, or between, a Spanish person and a Japanese person. And I said, well, what's the effect of that? And I found a research report. I didn't put the link because it's very academic and not so easy to read. But if you are interested, I can send you the link that found that non-native speakers of English are also likely to evaluate non-native politeness in email. These readers will also notice deviations from the native use of English, their attitude towards and perceptions of intelligibility of the sender will also be affected. All of this very academic language to say basically, this is also true when the emails are between two non-native speakers, maybe to a lesser degree, but that the quality of your writing in your emails is also important if you're writing to someone whose native language is not English. And I was like, oh, okay, then we need to really, really do this workshop. So what I did, I sent out a survey to the people on our newsletter email list to ask, what are the types of emails that are most difficult for you? Because we can't do all the emails in a 1-hour workshop, but we can do the most important ones. And it was emails to, let's see, the biggest one, emails to ask for information. So we're going to look at that. Emails to pitch your product or your service, we'll look at that, and email to ask to meet with someone. So those are the 3 emails that we're going to look at, but in your gift that's waiting for you at the end of this workshop, you'll have lots of other emails to help you. All right, the first one, email to ask for information. This is an email that I received. Says, hey there, I'm one of your online students. Could I get your cell phone number? I want to have a word with you. Thank you for send it to me. Christina, I see your eyes. You're like, oh, okay. Right. So real email. And I think that is a very good example of when you get this email, the type of reaction that it can create for the person reading your email. Christina's like eyes got really big. Charlotte says this is rude. No. And we're going to look and we're going to see. So what I've done is I've put together a document. Let me just share this document that we're going to look at together. Because when I said that this is an interactive workshop, this is the interactive part where I want to get some of your feedback. So this was the original email, and I want to get your input here. So we said it's it feels like it's rude. What other feedback do you see? And you can put it in the chat if you want, or you can unmute your microphone and share your observations, your perceptions, your feedback, your reactions, anything that you want to share. Maybe he wants to flourish. Whenever someone says, can I get your phone number? I was like, what for? So we could say it could be rude. It could be maybe the intention is not clear, or could be misinterpreted. Yeah, exactly. No explanation. Very good, Stephanie. Yes, there is no explanation. And even I would say if we go a little deeper into that, in English, and you might not have this nuance, but when someone says, I want to have a word with you, generally the perception is that it's a negative thing, like I've done something wrong, or there's a problem, or something like that. So I don't know, maybe this person wanted to say like, hey, I love your program, I want to sign up for a second program. I don't know, but I got this email and I was like, uh-oh, what did we do wrong? So there's no explanation of the reason. Yeah, it could be interpreted, let's see, as you know, there's some negative feedback coming. It's too direct. It's not very polite. I agree, Freddie. Yeah, exactly. All right. So you can see just from this very, very short email that it can have sort of a like, oh, effect on you. Stephanie, the thank you is like, do it please. Right, I agree. Thank you, just thank you for sending it to me. Or it's like, okay. So let's look at how we could improve this email. And what I've given you here is a structure that you can follow. Ahmed, hi there. I was late. Ahmed, better late than never. Good to have you. And yeah. So a structure that you can follow if you need to ask for information. Over here, I've put a structure so that you can really take this structure and adapt it to anything that you need to ask. But I've also given you an example of a correct, let's say a nicer, more polite, clearer version of this email. I changed up a little. I don't think no, I didn't. I added some information. But just start with a subject line. I don't know if he had a subject line. No, we didn't have a subject line. So just start with something that helps the reader to know what's coming. Question about programs. Maybe I imagined maybe that's what the person was asking about. A greeting, it's always nice. Introduce yourself, maybe give a little context so they can know who you are. I'm Sophie, one of your online students. State your request clearly and concisely. Could you please send me your cell phone number? Okay, it's the information that they want. It's fine to ask for it. If you never ask, you'll never know. But maybe provide some details. As we saw, we don't know why this person wants my number. But if we say why, like, I'd like to speak to you about some of your programs because I'm interested in joining. I'm not sure which is best for me and I would like your advice. So I'm like, okay, great. I know why this person needs to talk to me. I feel confident about giving them my phone number. And I know it's not someone who is calling to flirt or who just wants to, practice English with me on the phone or whatever. But it's very clear and very professional. Thank the person in advance, thanks in advance, and I hope to talk to you soon. So as Stephanie said, they're leaving a little more flexibility and freedom for the person to respond. And then just a closing salutation. All the best. So you can see maybe that email gives you a nicer reaction. Like if you received that email, what would your reaction be? Or how would you feel compared to the first one? And if you want to put that in the chat, and while you're thinking or putting it in the chat or turning on your microphone to share with us, I'll just put this template here. And I'm going to take a water break. Charlotte, yeah, I would have proposed exactly. Yeah, exactly. I said, okay, great. Here's my cell phone number. I'm available Wednesday at 3 o'clock or Thursday at 9 o'clock. Does one of those times work? The person would basically get what they wanted, get the information that they requested. And that's what you want when you send it, you're spending all of this time writing an email. You want the email to work, to do the job. So yeah, that's it. That's okay. So that's the first email. Let me share a second email. I see we've got a few more people coming in. Lovely. Welcome. We're just getting into the second email. So this email is the one to pitch your product or your service. All right. And this is the email that I received. And I'll just read it to you and you can follow along. Bernard says, I would prefer the person giving her own. Very good, Bernard. That actually, Bernard, that's a very good feedback. I would say I would prefer the person giving their own phone number and ask to call them back. Very nice when you're writing an email, yes, to think of what you want, but also think about the other person. And think about the email that you would like to receive from the person. And then you can, just be more empathetic or have more empathy when you are asking someone for something. Okay, so we're pitching something to someone. So this person says, hello, my name is and I'm an official representative of I happened to see your article in Forbes. Great job on your business. I'm contacting you because we help companies like yours capture their customer success stories to build awareness in their markets and increase sales. I recently helped a product company increase its site traffic by creating an impressive customer case study. Here's an example with the link. Should we schedule a short call to discuss how customer case studies will help your sales efforts? Best signature. Okay, so this email, let's see what you think of this one. Can you give us a summary? So yes, so basically what this this email is doing, this is someone who contacted me. They saw an article in Forbes and they want to propose their services for my business, which is creating customer case studies. So like a little report on how we helped a specific customer to show other customers how we can help them. So it's basically an email to say, I saw something about your business. I have this service to offer you. Can we talk about it? All right. So what's your first reaction to this email? And this one's a little trickier. Exactly, Charlotte. It's quite good. It's not, honestly, it's not terrible. It's very nice, Stephanie says. All right. Yeah, I was gonna say that one's a tricky one because when you read it, you're like, I don't know. It looks good to me. It's a little trickier, this one. All right. So we think it looks nice. I think it's quite good. I'm just gonna put some notes here. Looks good to me. Quite nice. Okay, maybe I would be happy. At the end again, maybe just putting a little more empathy. Maybe it could be more customized. Okay. Right. Maybe it's, especially when you're trying to propose something to someone, offer someone something, you don't want it to feel like it was just like they just copied and pasted an email. You want to try to make it more customized, more personalized. So let's see how we could improve on this email, which is, as you all noticed, not so bad to begin with, honestly. But maybe a subject line that's going to get their attention a little more. What we've put here is, something, if I read this, I'm like, oh, this person saw my article in Forbes. I want to open this email and see what they're going to talk about. But they've also put some information about, what the email is really about, let's say. They're proposing their services as a case study writer. And the fact that there's a slash, I mean, I don't know about you, but I rarely, almost never see a slash in my email subject lines. So it's something that kind of stands out. So already I see this and I'm like, let me open this email and see what it's about. So it does its job. A greeting, hi, Christina, because I believe, there was no name there. I feel like it's always nice to greet the person by name, but that's maybe my personal opinion. The hook, so this is the thing to grab their attention. I hope your week's going well. I just feel that's polite. Congrats on the article in Forbes and great job on your business. So now I read this hook and he has got my attention, or she. I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but this person got my attention, which means I want to continue reading their email. And that's where they put their pitch. I was checking your website. And so, okay, the person looked at my website and noticed you don't have any case studies. And I say, oh, they actually did check my website because I don't have any case studies. Do you need help with this? So a very direct pitch, a very direct question. And then they give some information that maybe tries to sell or to convince me of their services. I'm an experienced case study writer. Okay. I transform positive customer experiences into captivating stories that show the results you help your clients achieve. So in one sentence, this person has told me exactly what they do. It's very clear and it's very short. And then they put in a little bit of research, some statistics to maybe justify their services or to support their argument. As you may know, research shows that 2-page case studies are one of the most effective tools to generate leads, reassure clients, and increase your conversion rate. So I say, okay, no, I didn't know that, but now I do know that, and this is all very interesting. And then they said, recently I helped a French training company increase sales appointments by 40% thanks to a case study on their site. You can see it here. Link to that site. I would imagine this is my imaginary email, so there is no real link there. But you can see that it is more customized because here they have put an example that's a company that is similar to what we do. And so I say, okay, well, they've written good case studies for a company that does something similar to what I do. Maybe they can actually help me. And then there's the ask, the request for the appointment. Are you available this Thursday or Friday? So giving a somewhat specific time, but not too specific. Instead of just saying, should we schedule a call? I'm like, I don't know. Should we? You tell me. But they ask, are you available? I can check my calendar, see if I'm available if I want to meet with this person. And then just a closing salutation. So if this is the email compared to the first email, what is the difference? The difference in perception, the difference in maybe in your reaction? How would you feel in this one? And again, you can put it in the chat or you can open your microphone and let's see. Customize it. Yeah, exactly, Charlotte. So it shows that they've really taken the time to look at my business. It's more personal, I agree, more offensive. Stephanie, careful of offensive. That's a false friend in English. Offensive in English, it means something that offends you, that makes you like, oh, how dare this person. But I agree, it takes more initiative, perhaps. It's more direct. It adds supporting information. David, you're right. It makes the proposal stronger. It's more appropriate, and it makes me want to, maybe say, let me check out their case study. Maybe let me go and look at their website, and maybe eventually contact them, which is, I would say, better than maybe 95% of email pitches that I receive where I just delete it. So this one definitely does its job. Christina asks a question. We would write, would you be available? Are you is too direct. You could use both. Honestly, you could use both. And the reason here it's are you available is not so direct is because the everything before has done a good job of, I would say, establishing a good relationship or a good feeling. So you could use both because we have more context. But that's a very, very good question. All right. And here I've put a template that you can use and you can adapt to your own specific context, your own specific situation. And of course, you will get this document after the webinar. We're going to send the recording and all of the resources, the slides, these templates to you in an email on Monday. So you will get everything and you don't need to try to frantically scramble to make notes. All right, let's get into, just before we get into, are we all doing okay? Everything's good. Christina, yep, thumbs up. We're good. I'm taking a water break. All right. And let's go and check our third email. All right, so this is the email, probably a very common email that you might send quite regularly to ask to meet with someone and to ask to meet with someone you already know. I put this on LinkedIn as a poll because I wasn't sure if it was, if people had more difficulties or maybe had to write this email more to ask for an appointment with someone you already know, like a coworker, a business contact, etc., or if you're trying to get an appointment with someone that you don't know. And the response was 63% said it was more an email with someone that you already know. So that's what we're going to look at today. All right, here's the email that I received. So, hi, Christina. This days I was too busy with my work. That's why I can't be available before. But on Friday, I'm free. Okay for you. I'll send a message on WhatsApp. Thank you. All right. So, what's your observations? What's your reaction? What's your feeling when you if you received this email? How would you feel? What would you do? And we'll see what you guys put in the chat while I switch over the screen share. Okay, Charlotte says it mixes email and WhatsApp. Yeah, I might be like, well, why are you sending me a WhatsApp? You just sent me an email. It's a little like those, we've all got that. Well, no, I don't have that coworker, but maybe you guys do, who sends you an email and then sends you a text message to say, did you see the email I sent you? And I'm like, no, yes, I will see it. It's like chat. There's some typo mistakes. Very interesting, Bernard. So that proves, when we talked about that research of an email in English between two non-native speakers and you still notice the mistakes and everything, that's a very good, I say, proof of that. Exactly. There are some grammar points, there's typos, etc. Again, I'm not saying that your emails have got to be in perfect English. Like nobody's emails are in perfect English. But if there are too many typo mistakes, too many grammar points, it does really give a negative image, I would say. And we all make mistakes. We know that English is not your language. It's normal that you're going to make mistakes, but we can try to do our best to reduce the number. Lindsay says Friday win. Exactly. Yeah, Friday win. Like, I don't know. I'm available at sometimes on Friday and others not. So yeah, very, very good feedback on this. We've got some grammar and spelling mistakes. We've got typos. We've got, yeah, sort of like mixing email and WhatsApp, etc. First sentence seems to mean you missed an appointment. Okay, right, exactly. And I'm trying to think of what was the context of this. Sorry, I was too busy with your work. I can't. I think it was maybe I sent an email to be like, hey, can I talk to you? I just want to get your feedback on some the lessons that we're sending you or things like that. And this email came back like a long time afterwards. Like I'm not sure of the context, honestly. But yeah, it's maybe not so clear, Freddie. You're right. Not sure of who was supposed to do what, etc. Let's look at how we could change this. Now, I changed this message a little bit to give you an example of a message that you might send more with a contact, like a business contact, a coworker, etc. Start off with your clear, specific subject line. If you saw here, the subject line was sorry. And so already it's like you get that subject line, you're like, uh-oh. You don't want to open that email. But you do because you're like, oh no, what's the problem? So make it clear so that you don't create this like negative reaction in the reader. Meet about the .io project. Put a greeting. Again, it's just nice to have a greeting. Maybe specify the format and the general topic of the meeting. So again, making everything clear. Can we have a phone call or a Zoom meeting or whatever sometime this week about the .io project? And maybe explain the reason for the meeting. Again, just kind of reassuring the reader. They know what to expect. They know what's happening. I have a few questions about the specs or the instructions for the project, and I'd like to check a few points with you. Okay, so I know when this person wants to meet, I know how they want to meet, I know why they want to meet. And then you can say how long you think the meeting will take. It should only take 20 minutes. This way I can check my calendar. I can, see when I've got some availability, and I can, suggest maybe a few different times when you're available just to try to get the discussion going, the organization. I can suggest Tuesday at 10:30 or Wednesday at 3. And then just ask if that works. Again, you're just being polite, being empathetic with the other person. Does one of these times work for you? Thanks. And that's it. So in this email, I would say, now I'm going to ask you again, what's your feeling, your reaction compared to that first email? While you're doing that, I'll put a template here that you can use. And you guys can say hello to my cat. All right, what do you think? Any reactions? Waiting. No. It's very clear and polite. Exactly. Yeah, it is. And I would say that when you're trying to get an appointment with someone, clarity, it just makes it so much easier for the person who's reading your email. It's like, like if I received this email from someone, I'd be like, wow, this person it just creates a nice feeling. And again, makes the person want to respond positively to the thing that you're asking. And it makes the communication clearer, smoother, and easier. And I mean, like, that's what we all want. And here's the template that you can use and that you can adapt for your own, work and meet and asking for appointments. All right. So far, so good? We're all good? Yeah. All right. Hyun says, I clearly have understood why. Exactly. Yeah, it's very clear. And it's when you're sending email or any kind of written communication, you don't have a lot of the things that help us to have a good communication. You don't have facial expressions, you don't have intonation, you don't have pauses, you don't have all of that nonverbal communication that helps to, I would say, clarify a lot of your message. And so when you're writing, you want to try to be really as clear as possible. Um, and it's why we often recommend to our students, if you're doing any kind of written communication, it's much better to do short, clear sentences than to try to write long, complex sentences that are like 3 lines. Short, simple, but clear, because in an email, like we said, it's not literature. You're trying to be clear and concise and efficient. And Ahmed says, what rules to write emails? We're going to talk about that. So, here we've looked at, some examples of some emails, some real emails that we've received, the impact that it can have on the reader, and then also how to correct it and how to make it better and how to improve your own emails. But what about if you're speaking in English? Because I don't know if a lot of you do speaking in English, but sometimes it's often more difficult to speak than to write. In writing, you've got time. You've got Google Translate. You've got maybe a coworker who can check something for you. But when you're speaking, you have to really be, reactive and do the job without thinking almost. So if you also speak in English, just to let you know, and then we'll get into the rules about writing emails. Until November 23rd, we've got a special offer on our program, Speak Business English Confidently, which helps you get the practice and the feedback that you need to feel confident speaking English at work. If you want to work on emails, you can also do that too. But really, the objective of this program is to help you speak English better and more confidently. Sergio says, I prefer to speak instead. Yes, speaking can be so much quicker and easier and clearer than, 10 emails going back and forth. So until Wednesday, we've got some special gifts with enrollment. You've got a special discount on the program. We're going to offer you one extra individual session with your teacher so you can make even more progress. And when you enroll in the two of the, let's say, the top packages, then we'll put your name into a prize lottery and you can win 3 private coaching sessions with me to work on the things that are blocking you the most in English. So just to let you know about that. And Lindsay, maybe if you want to put the link for this program in the chat, in case any of you are interested to know more, you can go and check out the program. And Lindsay, if you want to maybe put the link for anyone to book an appointment with us. If you look at the program, you think, yeah, maybe, I'm not sure. I just need to check something. I've got a question about, I don't know, your CPF if you're in France. Lindsay will give you the link where you can book an appointment with Lindsay or myself, and we can answer your questions and help you figure that out. But now, speaking of gifts, because I mentioned we've got some gifts for you to say thank you for staying here. The first thing is, did any of you recognize this lady? You could put just yes or no. in the chat. And it's okay if you don't, because I'm going to tell you who she is. But maybe some of you, Diana Ross, good guess, but not Diana Ross. Somebody says no. Love the guess. And Lindsay, because Lindsay knows who this is. And I'll give you a hint. Yes, Erska, Oprah. Very good, Erska. Yeah, exactly. That's Oprah. Who I might say she's from Mississippi also. Just saying. Anyway, Oprah, very, very famous businesswoman in the US. She has a very successful show, and she's very famous because on her shows, she likes to give gifts to everyone who attends her shows, and she's very extravagant about it. And she's like, you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car. I don't have a car to give you, but we do have some other gifts that will help you with your English and, let's say, not pollute the planet as much. So the first thing, we're going to send you the guide, which has 8 must-have emails for entrepreneurs and employees too. These emails definitely work for employees. And Ahmed, I think you asked about rules for writing emails. This guide is going to help you to know how to write 8 different types of emails. It's going to give you some information about vocabulary, tone, structure, to give you some models that you can adapt for your own situation, whether you're an entrepreneur or an employee. But that's just going to help you make your emails so much easier and faster and more correct. And I'm like, that's just a win-win situation. So Lindsay, if you want to put the link to that guide in the chat, if you guys want to click, you can just go and get that document and save it to your own computer, but also we'll send it to you on Monday, but you've got that. And then the other gift, we're going to do a little prize draw. This is something I saw in a webinar that I attended, and I thought it was really cool. So the way this works, I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. Lindsay, how many people do we have in the session right now?
18.
Okay, 18. All right. So you excluded yourself and myself, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we can't win this. Okay, so we've got 18 people in here. Lindsay has secretly given each of you a number. So you don't know what your number is, but we're going to pick a number between 1 and 18. And let's see, Sergio, can you give us a number between 1 and 18? You're going to pick the winner of the prize draw. Suspense. Is that a number 1? It looks like a 1. Is that a 1? It's a 1. That looks like an I with an accent on it. Even more suspense. And that was not the message from Sergio. Sergio, you can unmute your microphone if you would like.
Oh my goodness. I broke everything here.
Okay. No worries. I was looking at the chat and I was like, wait, no, that's not Sergio.
Number 6.
Number 3. All right. So we've got number 3. Okay. 3. All right. So Lindsay, who's number 3?
Sergio picked himself.
Are you serious?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Sergio, you picked yourself. Good job on that. Awesome. So Sergio, what you're going to get a month of membership in our Faster Fluency Conversation Club, which is our program that 6 times a week we offer conversation sessions and lots of resources and exercises where you can come and practice speaking. The idea is to help you get the reflex and the habit of speaking English so that you feel more confident and you feel more fluent. And the bonus is that you get to connect with people from all over the world and have fun practicing in English. So Lindsay, if you want to just get in touch with Sergio in the chat, Sergio, Lindsay will get your email address so that we can
I can't
contact
believe
you.
it. I won.
Yeah,
I
you
won it.
won. You won it. That's
Oh,
yours. Yeah.
good.
You're going to be in our conversation club for a month.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no, you are very welcome. And it's going to be a real pleasure having you in there and getting to know you a little more and helping you, have fun practicing speaking English. All right. Final, just before we finish up, any questions about anything, about any of the emails, about just 1 second, because I see my cat is about to push a glass of water off of the table. 16. So there we go. So yeah, if you've got any questions about emails in English, about anything that we talked about today, this is the time for me to answer your questions. And you can put them in the chat, or you can unmute your microphone and just give me your question.
Hello, everyone. This is David from Spain.
Oh, hi, David. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thanks for the sessions, first of all.
Yeah.
It's very helpful. My question is on salutation. So I think that typically I will opt for being kind of casual and use a hi or hello, even if I haven't met this person before.
Right.
But sometimes I think that maybe it could be taken wrongly and people think that you are not being polite. So I would like to take your what is your take on this one?
Okay, yeah. So, and that's a really good question, and it's one that people ask a lot, actually. It's like, how do I start my email and how do I end my email? To be honest, David, there's a couple of things to take into consideration. The first thing could be your own personality. I'm like you. I tend to start a lot of my emails with like, hi, David, even if I don't know the person, or it's it's a professional exchange, etc. If any of you have ever received a message from me on LinkedIn, I always start with hi, first name, because that's kind of my personality. But then also, you also maybe want to consider, like, okay, what is, why am I writing to this person? What is, maybe what's the context? What's the situation? If it's someone that I'm trying to write to or connect with, I would say in a normal professional context related to my work or to my business, I would probably write hi. But if I'm writing to, I don't know, someone in like the administration, or maybe I'm writing to, let me think, like a human resources manager in a company who is one of our clients. In that case, I'm going to be a little more formal and put something like, hello, Mr. Civico, or dear, I feel like is
Yeah, same here. I think it's too much.
exactly. For an email, I feel like it's too much. Hello, I feel like is pretty a universally accepted greeting. And then what can make the difference in formality there is, do you write David or do you write Mr. Civico, or Mrs. Hogan, for example? And I would say with those two, you cover pretty much 100% of your emails.
Great. Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. Any other questions?
Hi, Christina.
Yeah. Hello.
I have some questions for you. I'm still confused about the use of formal, informal, and polite words when I say just like greeting, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. So yeah, the question of formality. In an
Yeah,
email,
formality.
I would say again, it's in most situations, because email is, like we said, it's not literature, it's not a letter. A lot of people admit and accept that an email can be a little less formal. You still want to be professional and correct. So I would say, start your email with hello, first name, or Mr. and Mrs., and then their last name. And then just remember to keep your tone professional, polite. Again, think about the other person. Be a little empathetic. And in that email guide, you're going to get some examples of how to do all of that. We wouldn't be able to go into all of the details and all of the examples today, but in the guide with the templates, all of those emails are written in a way to be professional, polite, appropriate, but also friendly, let's say, and not too corporate. So that'll help you. In terms of how to finish your email, I would say, I'm just going to give you these in the chat. Best regards will work for, 98% of your emails, I think. And the other 2%, it might just be something like talk to you soon, a little less formal. But best regards, kind regards, those are, I would say, the, two universally accepted endings for your email. I don't know if Lindsay, if you have any suggestions that you would add to that, because you see so many emails coming through into our email inbox each day. Is there anything that you would want to add?
I prefer, like in the beginning, like the hi, your name here. It's the easiest way to personalize an email. Versus just saying hello. Just add their name. It's so much more personal. And in the end, and this reminds me of older generations. They use the best regards, the kind regards. I always end my emails and let me know if I can do anything for you and have a wonderful day.
Yeah.
Which is what I would say to someone in the real world is, have a great day. See you soon, something like that. So yeah, just have a wonderful day, have a wonderful weekend. We'll talk soon. I prefer that over best regards and kind regards.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. So again, you can see that there's not like a universal rule. It's almost like you've got all of these choices here, and then you want to take into consideration things like, your personal preference and personality and the way that you are in real life. The hierarchy, maybe the relationship with the person. But yeah, I would say take those things into consideration. And don't be afraid of doing it wrong, I would say. I mean, like, the only thing that you could do is to really do it wrongly, is kind of what we saw in maybe that first and that third email example, where it's way too familiar, it's unclear, things like that. But any of these examples here in the chat would be perfectly acceptable for business emails. All right. And we've got time for maybe one final question if we have any other questions. And I think we're good. All right. So thank you all very much for taking a very precious hour out of your day to come and to learn how to improve your email communication. It's very nice to see you all. If you want to stay in touch, you've got my LinkedIn. You can send us an email. The website, you can go and sign up to get free lessons each week, plus invitations to future workshops. This is something new, but my goal is to try to do a workshop like this once a month on different topics, not just emails. So yeah, let's keep in touch. And if you've got any questions about the program Speak Business English Confidently, Lindsay, if you want to just put maybe the sales page link and the meeting, the calendar, you can go and check out the program Speak Business English Confidently with all the promotions and the gifts that are on until Wednesday, November 23rd. And you can book a lesson with us, or not a lesson, book a session with us to ask any questions you have. And we'll be happy to answer your questions. Charlotte says, what's the topic of the next workshop? That's a good question, actually. I don't know. We haven't decided it yet. So I would say if you have a topic or a situation or kind of a question, or something that's, it's just like it's creating frustration for you in English, send me an email, and do feel free to make a suggestion, because I always feel like, our job is to help you with your English in a way that really is applicable to your real life. It's very practical. You can take it and you can use it immediately and you can see a difference. And the best way for us to know how to do that is to ask you, what do you need help with? So if you have a suggestion, send it, and we will definitely look at it so that we can decide the topic for the next workshop. But I can give you, hold up, I can give you the date and the time of the next workshop so that you save it in your calendar. It is going to be on Thursday, December 8th at the same time, 1:30 p.m. France time. So that will be the next session. Yep. Thursday, December 8th at 1:30 p.m. CET. All right, that's it. How to wish Happy New Year. Oh, that's a good one. Like, yeah, greetings and things like that for the holidays. Very useful. All
Holiday
right.
salutations would be a great one.
Yeah, there is so much to say about that one. Yes. Right. All right, guys. Thank you all very much. It's really a pleasure to see you, and we'll be in touch on the internet.